platforming games, there are just so many great games in that particular genre. You have Spyro the Dragon, Super Mario Bros., and Sonic the Hedgehog, just to name a few. But here's an interesting game that takes an interesting twist on that particular genre. It's a game called Ratchet and Clank, and it was produced by Insomniac Games and released on the PlayStation 2 in 2002. The story is about Ratchet and Clank going around the galaxy, helping people, defeating enemies, and solving puzzles. You see, they are attempting to stop an evil chairman named Drek, who is trying to build a new planet for his race. But the planet's construction will end up destroying all the other planets due to something with the sun or whatever it is, I don't know. The story is interesting and well written. I won't give away any plot points, just to avoid spoilers. Ratchet is playable for a majority of the game. He only has 2 weapons at the start, a wrench and a bomb glove. But as you get farther into the game, you get more weapons like a flamethrower, a machine pistol, suck-up cannon, and a rocket launcher. The game's main currency are bolts that you get from defeating enemies and destroying objects like crates. You also get items that become useful in solving puzzles, like a hacking device and water suction device. The gameplay can be very fun, shooting and blowing things up can be very satisfying, and the puzzles take a bit of thinking in order to progress further into the game. But one complaint I have is that Ratchet's health is measured in atoms. You see, there are only 4 atoms and you can't increase them, and if you take 1 hit, you lose an atom. So imagine in games like Legend of Zelda, where you can't find any pieces of hearts and you have no way to increase your health, so you have to play the whole game with only 3 hearts. But what makes Ratchet and Clank's difficulty tolerable is that you have infinite lives, and you have to start off at the last checkpoint. It's nice, but it can get annoying. The graphics hold up extremely well, and it looks just as good as it did in 2002. The textures look smooth, and the animations are quick, natural, and in some cases, over the top. But generally, it's nice to look at, and holds up well compared to other games of its type. The level design is great, as the worlds have a different look and feel to them. You have deserts, cities, forests, wastelands, and space stations, and so forth. Sometimes the level design plays a good part in the difficulty. One good example is in the water treatment facility stage, where you get to this door, and once it opens, the whole place starts to flood with water, so you have to make it to the exit without messing up. Only problem is that it took me a long time just to finish this section. All I can say is, it's hard as heck. So if you're short on patience, this is definitely not for you. The music has a techno sci-fi vibe that fits each world you visit. It's good to say the least. Moving on. The control is a bit difficult at times, mostly in the movement department. You see, whenever I move on, say a bridge that goes into a zigzag pattern, I tend to move carefully by gently moving the joystick in the direction I want to move. But here, I can't watch slowly as I get into a running motion and fall off. It gets annoying in a short amount of time, but as I progress, I get better at it. So that covers the movement, so on to weapon usage. To select the weapons minus the wrench, you have to hold the triangle button, point the left thumbstick at the weapon you want to equip, let go of the button, and start firing by holding the circle button. You can only hold a certain amount of weapons and gadgets on the screen, so what do you have to do if you want to select other weapons and gadgets? You have to press the start button, go to the weapons menu, and switch the weapons around. So what do I say about this game? I think this is a great platforming game with a bit of action added to the mix. Good story, great sense of humor, plus fun and addicting gameplay even though it has some control issues, it's a good experience overall. If you have a PlayStation 2 and you find this game online, buy it. You won't regret it. Well, that concludes my review of Ratchet & Clank. I'll see you next time. And seriously, go buy the game.